10 on Your Side is proud to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. We're showcasing the stories of those who've made an impact on the Hampton Roads community. Here's 10 on Your Side's Tom Shad.
Thank you, Stephanie. Tonight we meet a woman in Virginia Beach who left the oppressive rule of Cuba under Fidel Castro for a new beginning and a shot at the American dream. And she'll tell you it not only came true, but continues through the achievements of her son, who is now Virginia's Attorney General. Havana, Cuba, April 1961.
A place called the Bay of Pigs. A landing was made by a Cuban exile brigade.
There was a knock at the door.
My mother went to see what they wanted. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, and she opened the door and he said, "We are here to get Angel away." My brother's name was Angel. And my mother said, "Wait a moment when I wake him up."
But the men brushed past her.
And the first bedroom, it was my bedroom. And I woke up and I had a young guy in front of me with a gun in front of my face.
Miriam Miyares was 14 years old when armed men loyal to Fidel Castro raided her home and arrested her brother Angel.
He said, "If the Yankees won't win, you will not have no way to know it, because you will be machine gun before you ever see it."
The Yankees, or United States government, had trained 1,400 Cuban exiles to storm their homeland. The Bay of Pigs invasion was a disaster, easily crushed by Castro's troops.
We were very concerned that he was going to be killed, because during Bay of Pigs, they came to my home in the middle of the night, took him away, and he was gone for 4 days. We had no idea where he was.
Why did they come after him?
They come to anybody who is not associated, integrated, as they call it, with the government. If you are not with them, you are against them. There is no middle ground.
Angel was later freed, then left his homeland for America. He raised money to bring Miriam in 1965.
I left Cuba with the outfit I had on and one outfit in a bag, and that's all I was allowed to leave.
What did you expect when you came to America?
Well, you have to realize for a 19-year-old, it's a cultural shock. But I knew one thing. I knew that coming here, I will have the freedom to do what I wanted to do.
To Miriam Miyares, the promise and uncertainty that came with freedom was worth the risk of leaving Cuba. Castro's government had taken their Victorian home built by Miriam's grandfather.
I went to Miami one time for a reunion of the Cubans, and they were showing pictures of my hometown, and I saw this house, and I said, "Whose house is that? I don't remember that house." And somebody looked at me and said, "Honey, that's your family's home." And I left crying because it looked like a tenement now.
The loss of the family home impressed upon Miriam Miyares that citizens should be protected, not terrorized by the law. That was not lost on one of her 3 sons, now the Attorney General of Virginia, and the first Hispanic elected to statewide office.
That was one of my earliest memories, was my mother coming in her kitchen and teaching me the Pledge of Allegiance for her own naturalization ceremony. And almost 50 years to the day after she left, in the fall of 2015, she was able to go into a voting booth and get a ballot with my name on it, and was able to vote for me to represent her in the oldest democracy in the Western Hemisphere, the Virginia General Assembly. That is indeed the American miracle.
A miracle that begins with desperation, born of tyranny and hope for a better life.
When I go in the Caribbean, there is not a time that I go that at night time I go in front of the water and I think how many of my people have died trying to cross this water. You don't do that if you're happy. You don't do that if the government is helping you. You only do that when you are desperate.
But Miriam Miyares will forever have a bond with her native Cuba, surpassed only by a love for America.
Because this country is a miracle.
And Miriam Miyares also says that if she had stayed in Cuba, she'd be living in poverty with no hope. And she has instilled that in her sons, the idea that America is unique, a place where you can come here and become anything you want and nobody can hold you back.